Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and first impressions of the Pocketbook Color 6-inch Color e-ink reader that's using the same e-ink Kaleido screen that we checked upon in the recent Poke 2 Color review. So let's check it out. Here it is. It's the Pocketbook Color. It's a 6-inch e-ink color e-paper technology. It's using the same 6-inch e-ink Kaleido color screen that I have reviewed and checked in recently on the Poke 2 or the Boox Poke 2 Color. And what I was very much interested in is to see that the experience that I had with the Poke 2 Color was less than optimal. The screen was dark and the ghosting was horrible and all these kinds of things. And the question remained because Poke 2 Color was like a prototype-ish type of device, and this is a full-on production unit that you can buy. I'm just wondering, are the negatives that were associated with the color and ghosting and all that kind of stuff, is that the e-ink Kaleido screen or how it was implemented? But for now, let's unbox this and see what it's like. And let's see what we get inside. Hey! It's the real life size of the image on the cover. I love when that happens. We have the device itself. We get the warranty card. Weird little hello thingy that I read before. It's the same thing. Registration card and a quick start guide. And the quick start guide is this short. So basically from English to Deutsch, that's it. Turn it on, personalize, and that's it. The full user version can be found on the official Pocketbook website. Well, I sure hope it's included on the device because there's zero reasons not to. Then in here we have stuff as well. Oh, we get the USB cable. This is a micro USB, and we also get the micro USB to 3.5-inch audio adapter, which is kind of cool because then you can hook up your traditional audio stuff. These are the contents of the Pocketbook Color package. You get the device, USB micro cable, micro USB to 3.5-inch audio adapter, and a bit of documentation. Alright, so now let's focus on the thing that matters, which is getting the device out and checking out the first impressions. So since the device is so tiny, I'm gonna zoom in so that we can see things more properly. There we go, that's better. So right off the bat, it feels a little bit heavier, but it also looks a lot better as a manufacturing type of design and the design overall. First thing that strikes me is, yes, we of course have the same indented screen and the big bezel, but in this case this is not a problem because we have buttons. So you have home, back, forward, and menu, all that you need. So if you're gonna add a bezel into your design, then you really need buttons, and the Poke 2 really did not have any of those, so it had the worst of both worlds. This is already a big plus. The build quality and the materials that are used here are very, very fine and very nice. So you have this soft type of rubberized plastic almost, but it's not sticky, so it's just really, really smooth and nice to the touch. And then we have this Silver Moon. This is the Silver Moon version, where you have a very clean background here and nothing on the sides or anything on the top. On the bottom we have the USB, micro USB connector, power on, power off, and a micro SD slot. So it's definitely an expandable type of device, which is awesome. So as a design and build quality and pretty much everything else, so far this is superior to Poke 2 pretty much in every way. But then again, Poke 2 Color was a prototype device for sale, which is a little bit strange. This is a proper production unit for sale, and it feels it. It definitely feels it. Now, what about the color screen itself? It's supposed to be exactly the same. And personally, my first impression is that it's absolutely as dark as the other one, but maybe not that dark. Let me just take out the Poke 2 color and compare. So here is the Poke 2 color, and no, they are pretty much exactly the same, to my eyes at least. Of course, I'm going to be comparing with the exact same images, and then we'll do that in a later video. But the first impression is, yeah, the screen looks pretty much exactly the same on both devices, but overall design and everything I really prefer on the Pocketbook color. Let's do the first power up and see how things are. Because one of the things that was fairly bad on a Poke 2 color was the front light itself, and the front light is a huge aspect in this e-ink, or on this particular screen. So we'll see how this works so far. Looks okay, very slow, but that's that. So let's connect to Wi-Fi. Only 2.4 gigahertz supported, not 5 gigahertz. Alright, connected to Wi-Fi, agreed to terms and conditions, initial setup. So far I'm not seeing too much ghosting. It's most definitely not as bad as it was on Poke 2 color. So let's see what we get. I mean, it's there, but it's not horrible. And great, exactly what I wanted to see and exactly what we talked about. When I mentioned I hope that the user guide is on the device, and guess what? The very first thing you see is the color guide. And that's awesome. That's properly awesome. Somebody's thinking very nicely regarding this. Now, the speed of the device, not that fantastic. But I gotta say that the implementation of the screen, my first impressions are that this is a lot better than what Poke 2 color had to offer. As I suspected, the front light is the crucial element on this screen, and the front light on the Poke 2 color simply isn't that good. And the ghosting as well, I'm not seeing any ghosting here because they're refreshing it all the time. So addition of buttons and these things, this is a much better implementation of the e-ink Kaleido screen than on the Poke 2 color. The speed of the device, well, that's always the problem with these little guys, but as a reader I think it really works nicely. So I'm not gonna go into any huge review now. I just wanted to unbox it so that I can start using it and that I can start the testing process, and then the review will come at a later point. And also at a later point we're gonna have a direct shootout between these two. And yeah, I just wanted to check the brightness here, how it works. And there's a big range with the brightness, so you can actually set it up to very low, but the colors still pop and they still show, and they're far less intruded by the harshness of the front light, which is certainly the case on the Poke 2 color. So now I'm gonna do set the front light to half on Pocketbook color, and I'm gonna add this guy here, and let's just open up a front image of either on both devices. Yeah, at 50%, and yeah, it just looks better. And you can see that the white is better, and no, it's not just the intensity. It's actually, if I adjust the intensity on the Poke 2 color, then it starts to glow blue. So most definitely the implementation of the front light seems to be far superior on the Pocketbook color, and therefore the color interpretation as well is far better. And of course I can just press home, while here I have to go and do these things. So yes, they're using the same screen, but the initial impressions are in every way: the design, the ergonomy, the presence of the buttons, the screen itself, how it's been implemented, and how the front light is helping this technology is a lot better than the first impressions that I had with the Poke 2 color and the conclusion that I had with the Poke 2 color. So I'm actually looking forward to using this guy because it's, yeah, the first impressions are, it's looking really, really good. Alright, so that was, for me at least, not that surprising, because the strong impression that I got from Poke 2 Color was that the front light was simply not that good. And from my previous experience with the Inkpad X, Pocketbook Inkpad X, which I thoroughly didn't like, but one of the strongest points of that device was the front light, how uniform and smooth and really well balanced it was. So my expectation was actually that the Pocketbook Color, at least on the first look and first impressions, is that it is able to handle the e-ink Kaleido technology with its limitations and all that kind of stuff. It's still present, but that front light seems to be helping quite a lot. And on the first impression as well, I did not notice as much of that crippling ghosting that was present on the Poke 2 Color. So I think that this was a good decision to actually get this little guy and check it out, because it might prove to be a very interesting comparison between the two when we get there. For now, this was the unboxing and the first impressions, and the first impressions are really, really good. Much better than Poke 2 Color's first impressions. I'm looking forward to spending time with the device and yeah, getting ready to test it and all these kinds of things, so I can bring you the in-depth review. And after that, we're gonna do a back-to-back versus comparison so that we can definitely nail down and see what works better, or are they the same, or, you know, just basically what's what. But from the get-go, I prefer the Pocketbook design, the concept with the buttons. You don't have to deal with the bezel, and the screen seems to be better implemented in this one. We'll see what it happens in the in-depth review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. And also, if you like what I do and you want to support the mydeepguide platform even further, consider checking the Patreon and becoming an official Patreon. As such, you will get access to exclusive behind-the-scene videos, which are kind of bloggy, vloggy type of content that users seem to be liking. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!